I'm Alwyn Moran from Cogni Kids here in Dublin, Ireland. We're developing young minds. So I'm just going to do a few little hints and tips about networking and what I have found works for me. So you hopefully will get some suggestions and ideas from what I've learned so far. So networking for me was super important to do. I came from a non-business background, so I had no business network at all that I could leverage and tap into. So I needed to start from the ground up and really kind of network and get mentors from my networking and connections and so on that could help me in my business. So what I did originally was I literally participated in every kind of networking event that was going on. So I was probably going maybe to 3 different networking events per week. They were short little snippets, maybe half an hour or an hour long, but still it was just to try to build up that network. So once I started then, I went to a variety of different types of networking events, and I realized that there are some networking events that just don't fit for me. So they just don't work. And I then very quickly decided my time is better spent being more strategic on the company and being more strategic on how I'm going to network. So I started to pick different types of networks and just honed in on those ones. So I then also stayed away actually from female-only networking events and I just participated and continue to participate in one particular female-only networking event that is actually facilitated by women leads who have built multi-million-dollar companies themselves. So, you know, I wanted kind of a mentor, I suppose. So that's that kind of boxed off in that area there. So then I also then decided when we were at different trade shows and things like that, that these would be phenomenal opportunities to network with other brands who are early stage like myself, and also then the bigger brands. So our very first couple of trade shows, we had teeny tiny booth. It was like 2 meters by 2 meters. And I would spend most of my time off the booth and I'd be talking to other brands, just gaining some insight from their experience to date, figuring out their strategies and seeing, you know, kind of like where we could win-win, support each other to help each other to grow. I also then went to the bigger brands who have huge booths, and I would literally just rock up to the booth and I would say to them, okay, who's your CEO or your MD? Can I have 5 minutes with them? And most of them were, you know, kind of going, oh, okay, yeah. So it was a very different strategy. But I would literally kind of say, okay, so I'm upstairs. I've got a 2x2 booth. How do I get from there to here? Like, what do I need to do? And they are very, very generous a lot of the time with their knowledge and with their connections and their contacts. So that is a phenomenal networking tip that I would give everybody to do, is have your vision of where you want to be, particularly at trade shows and things like that, where you know that the decision makers and the key kind of people are going to be on these bigger brands, the ones that you admire and aspire to be, and just go up and ask direct questions. But you need to know what your ask is first. Don't waste their time with kind of, can I have a coffee, and no strategy. It's like, you know, so, and mine was, how do I get from there to this huge booth here? So also then what I've done is, our focus obviously is we want to penetrate the US properly and get a good strong foothold in the US market. So going to these trade shows, we became friends with a couple of different brands, and particularly US brands. And we'd start to hang out during the shows, and then we'd start to have dinner after the shows and things like that. So then that has spilled over into, we have Google Hangouts with the MDs of and CEOs of these other companies, at least once a month, if not more frequently, where we've got WhatsApp groups and things like that. So we would kind of keep in touch, shoot ideas off each other, going, hey, has anybody got any experience in this? Can anybody help me? Have you a connection here? Have you a connection there? And that even spilled over into 3 of us getting together for actually sharing a large booth at a trade show. So a booth that we would not be able to have got ourselves, but we were complementary products, complementary brands, and not competing. So we pooled our resources, got a huge booth, and then, you know, kind of got a really big draw into us that way. And so it really benefited. So it's always, I suppose, for me, it's always about the win-win. You know, there's enough to go around for everybody, and it's like, where can I add value to you, and where can you add value to me, and let's support each other. So that's a really key thing, because it's not all about what can I get. It's about what can I also give, because I have learned a lot. I have, for US brands, I would have connections in Europe that they wouldn't have. And so, you know, we're happy to kind of work together. So that's a really good strategy. You know, I think I'm pretty unique for a small Irish company to be doing that with a couple of US companies. And I certainly know that our government body here, were the Enterprise Ireland, who funded us, were very intrigued to see how this would work, because none of their Irish companies before had actually shared a booth with US. Other Irish companies have shared a booth in a US trade show together, but not one Irish company with US companies. So I think that was a really, really great strategy. So my suggestion to you would be on the flip side. So if you're a US company, see about looking for European brands that you can actually partner with, or just, you know, kind of learn from. You become your own little support group, network almost. And then, you know, when things are going crazy and you're having a tough moment, you can just like go, hey, is anybody on Skype? I need to have a cry, I need to have a moan, or I just need to give out, or I need some advice. So, you know, or I need to share success stories too. So that's really good as well. So probably to recap, network, but be very strategic about the networking events that you go to, because you could be out every single day, but you have to value your time. So you have to find out where the people that you need to get in touch with are actually networking, and you then join those networks and become part of them. Partner with like companies, not competing, but, you know, in the same space. So if you're a product-based company like us, we, like I said, partnered with companies that would be dealing with the same kind of buyers. So they're coming to see them, they see you at the same time. So it's pooling your resources and building up your own network. And then trade shows and things like that. Go to them. Even if you're not exhibiting, go to them, walk the shows before you maybe make that investment, because it's a huge investment. I've been over and back to the US like a boomerang over the last 2 years. I've walked trade shows. I've chosen not to exhibit at certain ones. I've chosen to exhibit at other ones. And then I have spoken to everybody. On escalators, I will turn around and I will chat to the person behind me, because you just never know who you're actually talking to. So, you know, it's random. It's like that elevator pitch. You never know who is going to be beside you, but you just, if you don't start a conversation with somebody, you are never going to know. So like, talk to everybody. And then the last thing, I suppose, would be the focus on the win-win. Where can you add value to somebody, and how can they add value to you?